This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
Wow, so I'm way late. I already know that I'm way late. But as the dust is settling on this huge event that happened in professional wrestling, what pro wrestling is all about, I thought I would give you my opinion on it. So stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to let you know what this means going forward as we prepare to get closer to WrestleMania, 6 weeks from WrestleMania. And as Triple H said in the press conference, it's starting to look like the road to WrestleMania now. You got to have patience. And I love that they're having this patience. But I'm the Wrestling Old Head. As you've heard in the intro, you have entered the portal of pro wrestling, and we're about to break down what happened last night at Elimination Chamber like a shotgun. For any of my opinions on the rest of Elimination Chamber, I'm going to have a separate video for that. I just thought it was important to really break down where I see this going and what actually happened. So if you've been living under the rock, if you don't have social media, then you don't know what happened. John Cena won the Elimination Chamber by defeating CM Punk after CM Punk was hit with a one of those curb stomps on the base of the chamber, which gave Cena the win. At that point, Cody Rhodes came out to congratulate congratulate John Cena for going to WrestleMania to face him in the granddaddy of them all. And that is when The Rock came out with Travis Scott, and The Rock reiterated his point. He wanted to let Cody know that now is the time to make the decision. Are you going to give your soul? Cody feigned like he was going to do it. You know, he feigned that he was interested, and then he basically said, not basically, for the first time in WWF history, WWF/WWE history, never have we ever heard a professional wrestler without slipping up or the audio catching what was going on in the ring. Cody Rhodes, within earshot, live, with the microphone in hand, told The Rock, the final boss, to go fuck himself. It was amazing. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 3 years old. 1988, I've been a wrestling fan. I've been watching videotapes from Coliseum Home Video to WWF Superstars, WCW, everything. I had never thought we would hear a professional wrestler live on the mic, uncensored, say fuck you. And he said, go fuck yourself. He pulled a Christian Cage, Adam Copeland moment. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was at that point that John Cena congratulated Cody Rhodes for retaining his soul and gave The Rock a mean mug. A lot of people thought he was like mean mugging Rock, like I'm coming to get you for trying to take Cody's soul. But then we quickly saw the knife across the throat motion, the Arn Anderson little taunt there, where The Rock scrapes his fingers across his neck, and John Cena kicked Cody Rhodes below the belt in the rubles, in the golds, in the grapefruits. And new generation, you kids, you new kids to professional wrestling, you new guys. This new generation, listen up. What you just experienced was what we experienced in Bash at the Beach, WCW 1996. Hulk Hogan, for those that liked Hulk Hogan when they were a kid, I did. He's one of the first guys I liked. Hey, I know it's not a popular name to be brought up in professional wrestling right now, but I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I can't change how I was as a kid. It was two guys, Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. I was fortunate enough to watch them when I was young battle at WrestleMania 6. And I was also fortunate enough to write Hulk Hogan a letter when Earthquake smashed him, because I thought he was really hurt. And my parents were cool enough to respect kayfabe for me as a kid. And then I saw Hulk Hogan in WCW, and granted, he wasn't the same Hulk Hogan. We all knew that. But he had some good challengers. You know, he had Vader and Ric Flair and whatnot. And he comes out. He had been missing for months. We didn't know where he was. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were coming into WCW apparently as a takeover. We had no idea what was going on. I barely had the internet at that time. And Hulk Hogan comes out, looks like he's about to help WCW. He backs up into the turnbuckle and drops a leg on Randy Savage. He joins the NWO, but he doesn't just join this stable that eventually became the New World Order. He changed the scope of professional wrestling at that moment. The industry changed. Say what you will. If you're not a fan of Hulk Hogan, that moment probably didn't mean shit to you. And I get it. It's fine. But for those that were watching, the reason why WWF went live was to battle WCW Monday Nitro going live, and the enormous impact of the NWO showing up. They were unpredictable who was going to join, and they went crazy with it, and they didn't have a lot of structure, and there was just one wrestler after another joining, and they didn't really have that finality arc that we would have wanted to see. You know, they didn't have that structure. You know, a lot of the writers and the bookers were coming from the territory days. Up till that point, I don't know if there was an American wrestling storyline that was that intricate, that had blown up the way that it had blown up. So I forgive everyone involved, every creative person involved, for not being able to really put the finishing touches on a storyline like that, because I'm sure they did not realize it was going to blow up like that, okay? This is what you witnessed when John Cena turned heel. And after, I don't know, 22 plus years, we all can see John Cena again. We see you, bro. And like I said, as a fan since 1988, I've seen a lot of shit. And after reading all the reports of John Cena against Cody Rhodes being talked about ad nauseum on all of the dirt sheets, on all of the news sites, you know, I just couldn't see a face versus face dynamic for that match working out. John Cena doing the harrowing last call, like the grizzled young veteran, it just didn't entice me. It really didn't. And I've spoken about it in other videos. It didn't excite me. And to put him in a match with Cody Rhodes, I just couldn't see it. The only way for it to work, the only way would be if either Cody Rhodes turned heel, which, look, they were not going to pull that trigger that quick. They were not going to do that. So either he were to turn heel or John Cena would turn heel. And I've spoken about it in my videos prior. I saw an idea I envisioned an idea that made sense, which was that John Cena would turn heel to convince Cody Rhodes to do what he had done, or that he would be jealous of Cody trying to do what he had done, because nobody should be able to even attempt to get to the mountaintop that John Cena had gotten to. Coupled that with the lore behind John Cena's parallels with The Rock and going to Hollywood and becoming a part-time guy, and the comment that he made at the press conference for the Royal Rumble where he had said, "I'm doing what's best for business," a phrase that was used during the Authority angle, the Authority storylines of the last couple of decades. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs that have been dropped in the build up to this storyline. At this point, I cannot say that they did this on the fly. For those that believe that they did this on the fly, I mean, all power to you, but I just cannot see that they didn't have this planned out. And the only way that John Cena versus Cody Rhodes works is if Cena turns heel, and he did just that. And if there was ever a moment in time to turn John Cena heel, pun intended here, the time is now. John Cena has to come out though to his Bad Bad Man theme song, or like some kind of like orchestra version of that, or the Thugonomics or something. I mean, the Thugonomics is going to get a pop. And that's the thing that you got to be prepared for, is that the crowd had been waiting for this legitimately for like 15 years. They have been waiting to boo John Cena for about 15 years, maybe longer than that. So now that those that were young that booed him, or those that were teenagers that booed him, that are still watching the product, they might cheer this. It's going to be an uphill battle, because heels nowadays, they got to do some despicable shit. Just like Cody Rhodes had mentioned in an interview, you got to go scorch earth, motherfucker, in order to make sure that the crowd boos you the way that you're intending them to boo you. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see where they go with Cena nowadays. I envision that he's going to be doing promos, in the back lot of a studio, and cutting promos while Cody's in the ring calling him out. I think that that's something that they can really, really utilize while John Cena is out filming movies. Imagine if he cuts his hair, if he goes full bald like The Rock. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do here. This Hollywood wrecking crew, this 2-man Hollywood power trip, that talking about soul snatching. I mean, what timeline are we in here? And what a time to be alive and a time to be a wrestling fan. And I almost forgot about Cactus Jack being involved in this. Now, if you would have told me that Cactus Jack would have been involved in John Cena turning heel and that The Rock was there, I would have not have thought that the Cactus Jack you were talking about was not Mick Foley, but was Travis Scott. And Travis Scott, in the Cactus Jack name, showed up and was basically Dennis Rodman. He was... I mean, he doesn't look like Dennis Rodman. He looks more like Thomas the Inchworm Rodman. If you know, you know. Do your Googles on that. But that was very interesting that he was there. Probably got way more engagement, way more views, way more people talking about it with Travis Scott being involved. So I totally understand that. And maybe it's Travis Scott that makes the theme for John Cena when he comes out to to his heel iteration here. They can have Travis Scott do the music, which I think would be huge. And oh man, the promos. Okay. Cena is dangerous on the mic. I mean, legitimately dangerous. Has ruined careers, has ruined pushes before they were able to advance because of what he has said. I'm looking at you, Austin Theory. So, him battling on the mic, he can hold his own. These promos between Cody Rhodes and John Cena are going to be unfucking hinged. They're going to be absolutely insane. And I'm telling you, man, we have been sports entertained. I'm almost at a loss for words. I am trying so hard not to use the talking points that I've heard countless other people spout. So my opinion was, and since I haven't gotten to it, and we're about 10 minutes into this thing here, I am going to say this was, in all my years as a wrestling fan, it has been a while since I popped like this. I mean, when Cody won last year at WrestleMania, it was huge. This is the first time in a long time where I've been genuinely excited for the possibilities here, because John Cena as that let's have a good time for the last time type of a face that he was alluding to, I really wasn't hyped for that. But this is going to be glorious. This is the John Cena. Now the matches with, Randy Orton for the last time, with CM Punk for the last time, even with The Rock for the last time, because there's still something that they can explore with that before Cena bows out. They might not be as close-knit as possible. Cena is the old guy that's going to sell his soul so that he can win the main event at WrestleMania and win his 17th World Championship. That doesn't all have to go as planned. I mean, Cody could beat Cena, but also Cody could lose. Cena can go on a tear throughout the summer and then eventually lose, have a falling out with The Rock. And then in December at Ruthless Aggression, Cena and The Rock for one last time. That could be blockbuster money, box office money. This whole thing is money now. This whole thing is money. Cena beating CM Punk can lead to Cena against CM Punk in the summer. Run it back one more time. Like I said, with Randy Orton, running it back one more time. The stuff with R-Truth and The Miz. I mean, there could be some great stuff with that. I mean, I'm still holding out hope that Karrion Kross is involved in some part or fashion with this whole thing as well, because there's something with that can be humongous as well. John took the dishonorable route to win the chamber, and he's locked it in. Bray Wyatt's prophecy has come true, and this was actual magic, you guys. And it's in my mind for a long time. It's going to be embedded in my brain for a long time. So what happens on the other side of this? Where do we go after this? I'm going to tell you, with Cody Rhodes now, there's a lot of suspense, a lot more suspense going into WrestleMania. His championship is not secured. We do not know if he's actually going to win, because as I stated before, John Cena winning, it seems like that is the right thing to do in accordance with where this might be going with The Rock and John Cena. The Rock said, this is it, man. If you don't sell your soul, you won't ever get, that dream is over. And again, right? So, I mean, the shattering of the dreams of Cody Rhodes can start at WrestleMania and lead throughout the rest of the year with John Cena as the champion and The Rock running the plays. I mean, you can run so many different matches with that, and Cody fighting to get back up. One of the things that I think can also play out within this whole thing that a lot of people may not understand is to just the night one could become a tag team match scenario here, because you've got Jey Uso and Gunther. I personally, and I'm going to be honest, I personally feel like that should main event, because the world championship match should go on last. It should main event, whether it's the women's championship or the men's championship. I'm not going to dispute that, but the world championship should be decided in the main event. However, I started to think once The Rock and John Cena got together, and we're still not sure if The Rock is going to wrestle at WrestleMania or not, Cody Rhodes can get assistance from Roman Reigns. And so you can have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns against The Rock and John Cena. Now, maybe it doesn't happen the night one at WrestleMania. Maybe it happens at some subsequent pay-per-view thereafter or PLE thereafter. But that is a huge matchup that they at least have explored. Because if my dumb ass, my old head ass, was coming up with that idea, then I'm sure that they thought about that idea. Cody Rhodes getting help from Roman Reigns. Roman owes him a favor, whether he wants to admit it or not. Cody Rhodes is owed a favor from Roman Reigns. So Cody and Roman can team up a year after they battled, and The Rock and John Cena connection can team up 10 or 11 years after they collided at WrestleMania. That is a dream match. Roman parallels with The Rock as the new great one, as the new tribal chief. John Cena's parallels with Cody as Cody being the new Cena. I mean, so many parallels between those four guys. It's money, guys. And the WWE is interested in making money. If they're not doing this at Mania, they're going to do this at some big event. Maybe Saudi Arabia. I don't know. But they're going to do this, and they should do this. They absolutely should pull the trigger. I see Cena doing promos from the backlots of movie studios. I see the Rock and Cena doing cinematic promos. I see Vin Diesel coming in and helping Cody Rhodes to finally, turn this long-term storyline from the Fast and the Furious franchise into some real shit in the WWE. Vin Diesel comes to the aid of Cody Rhodes. I see that. I see so many opportunities here that I mean, you just got more to work with. You've got so much more to work with. The WWE did the right thing by doing this. It makes so much sense. It makes more sense than CM Punk. It makes more sense than Seth Rollins, more sense than Drew McIntyre. I mean, you know, and now all we need is Ted DiBiase in the crowd on WWE Raw going, you know, doing the count with his fingers and then going next week 5, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if we get a new corporation. I don't know if we get a new world order. 2 Hollywood guys talking about soul taking. It's fucking crazy, man. And Travis Scott involved in it all. This is insane. But I will let you know. So anyways, that's what I think is going to happen. I'm super excited about this. As a wrestling fan, I am going to be looking forward to how this plays out. I think it was a best case scenario situation for the WWE.